Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the COVID-19 Impact Series. Today I'll be speaking with Dr. Loretta Balogun. She is the CEO for LoryB and DP Ventures. They have been in the agricultural space for over 20 years. We'll be discussing COVID-19's impact on agribusiness. Join me. Dr. Balogun, thank you very much for joining us today. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. And how are you too?
Good. Are you currently in Lagos or in Kaduna, Ogun State?
Ogun State.
Okay. So how's the ease of the lockdown? Is everybody back to normal? Going back to the farms and everything?
Not really. I mean, things are a bit, tippy-toppy because, there's just so much restrictions and trying to conform to all the protocols of the COVID-19, so that makes things a bit stiff, but we're getting by.
But farmers are able to go on the farms?
Yes, they are actually on the farm, but the insecurity in some parts of the Northwest is actually, affecting them. So, that security situation is affecting them going back to the farm. A lot of them in Katsina, because of the serious unrest there, cannot. So we're just wondering how that's going to impact on, the harvest for the coming season and food security.
Oh, that's awful. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions on how COVID-19 is impacting your business. And I know from the initial lockdown, I could already imagine you're very involved in the agribusiness sector. You're a big processor and you aggregate from smallholder farmers. So with the initial lockdown, how did that affect your business and how has that been going since, to the ease of lockdown?
Yeah, initially we had logistics challenges, because our staff found it difficult even to get to work. We had orders from our off-takers because we're in the essential food business, and we couldn't meet up the obligations. The trucks had some logistics problem getting by. But later, when they clarified on the that essential food business, were exempted from the lockdown, it made it a bit easier. But we had bottlenecks, there was even some time that our staff was arrested, on his way to work and all. We had to get the police in and, explain to them. We had letters from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria identifying us. We had letters from our off-takers, Cadbury, Nestle Nigeria PLC and all that. So we put all those together. And then, we were able to overcome those challenges and we're able to move on. Banking was also a problem, getting finance, right, to run the business. But because Kaduna, where our head office is, was on a lockdown for 24 hours. We couldn't access funds initially. But Stanbic was really proactive because they made their staff they had their digital solutions that also provided solutions to our financing needs. And they had to do transactions as far as Sokoto, Akwa Ibom, whatever, just to make sure that we had the business running and we were able to move, the goods and the materials we were supposed to move at the right time. But we had hiccups initially.
Oh, that's good. So you're able to overcome that and adapt easily.
Yeah.
So I want to take it back a little bit. You have been in business for over 20 years. I know you process and you offtake from smallholder farmers and you're in different locations in Nigeria. So can you tell us the different crops you play with and how that partnership has gone over the years?
Yeah, in the agri-value chain, we play in the processing sector. So we process this raw materials for these blue chip companies in the food and beverage industry. Basically, Cadbury, the likes of Cadbury, Nestle, Nigeria Breweries, Guinness, and all that stuff. We've been doing that for 23 years actually, and basically, the work we do is to get this thing and process the raw materials, right, for these people in these blue chip companies. And we have two factories. We have one factory in Ogun State, and we have another in Kaduna. And then over the years, we've been rendering that service. And then of course, over time too, we also have outgrow scheme to encourage the smallholder farmers. The smallholder farmers cannot meet our needs, really. But we just do that to support them, give them farming inputs, teach them good farming practices and all that. So we uptake from them, and we also uptake from the large-scale farmers as well to be able to meet up our needs, because we're talking about tons and tons and tons of grains. Basically, what we do is the grains will be processed is sorghum, white and yellow sorghum, soya beans, and maize. Those are the grains we process for the blue chip companies. So we've been in this for like over 2 decades, as I said. We've been growing with Stanbic over the years, partnering with them for about 2 decades now, to expand our business. We started a bit far smaller than we are now, but we have grown over the years to the operation that we are now. And we have impacted lives, created employment, and then created a lot of value chain, a lot of smallholder farmers, supported jobs directly and indirectly through the logistics sector, food packaging companies that have to give us packaging materials that we use for the products that we process for these blue chip companies in the food and beverage industry.
Oh, that's interesting. So you've actually been in this sector before it was actually cool to do agriculture. Before the government was talking about import substitution, you've been there. But what a lot of people don't know is you're actually a doctor. So can you tell us how you got into the agriculture space and how you've been able to grow over the years?
Yeah, actually, that started off from my husband is in the military, right? We got transferred from Port Harcourt to Zaria. And being someone as a businesswoman, I mean, I left, practicing my profession. I still keep in touch with that, once in a while. But I was doing active business in Port Harcourt before we transferred to Zaria. And when I found out about Zaria, they said everything about Zaria was, it has to do with agriculture. So I actually went into large-scale farming, farmed a couple of hectares, about 7 hectares then, for somewhere that was green from, a modern city like Port Harcourt into Zaria, and then started the large-scale farming. And then in the farming, I discovered that it was tough to do farming because all the people that I was employing to do one thing or the other for me, they thought I was rich because I drive to the farm with my car, try to supervise what they were doing, and they were like, no, I'm a damn. So they would charge me more than required for every labor and everything that they did, right? So at the end of the day, they would say, Madam, see, you have car, now help us, that we are just, small farmers and all that, So it was expensive to do the farm work. And I had to rent the land because, I'm not an indigenous of that state. And I didn't think it was wise to start off by buying land.
Yeah.
So we started that. At the end of the day, I discovered that everything I found, I couldn't even sell to even recover the costs I put into that venture. So I had to keep the grains for a while until the price appreciated. But in the course of that farming, I got in touch, I got to know a government parastatal known as the National Seed Service. And then I got working with them. They supported me in the farming, right? And then eventually, they made me to know that there were blue chip companies that come over to the north to buy their raw materials. About that time, federal government changed the policy and said companies in the food and beverage industry must use local raw materials. So they were coming to source their local raw materials in the northern part of Nigeria because they deal with grains mainly, sorghum, soya beans, and maize. So I got that information and I got working, and then I got in touch with them in Lagos, and they knew when they were going to come, and that was how it all started. Initially, they started by warehousing. We'll deliver to them and they had the warehouses in the north. But over time, it changed, the program changed, and then we were now warehousing for them, processing for them, and delivering on schedule, for the period of, over a period of 1 year. And that's what we have been doing consistently over the last 23 years.
So you had the same off-taker for almost over 20 years?
Over 20 years, yes, 1998 precisely. Yeah.
Wow.
All
very
the and all that, yes, we've been with them. So, we're in this agri space even before it became attractive. And that's why I tell my staff, I said, we have been here so long. Now we need to step up because everybody's just coming to the agri space, finding it attractive, going into other levels of processing, and we can't just remain at this level. So I told them we need to go into other areas of, processing, maybe rice processing and other things, sorghum syrup and all that, because we need to step up. And because we have been here for so long, these guys are coming in there and they're not carrying our space. There's a lot of space for everybody to play out. But we need to move on to the next level. So that's what we're trying to do now.
So do you have your own land or you only aggregate from other farmers?
Like I said, I started off in 1997 with farming, and that's a bit tricky. So we decided to contract it out, and that's why we support the smallholder farmers. We even partner with IFDC, USAID, the United States International Development Agency. We partner with them and all that, trust crop cultivation, so that to increase their yields, give them good seedlings, and then make sure that farming is worth their while and they're able to feed their families based on the work they do. So we have been doing that to support the smallholder farmers. But the volumes that we actually require, we cannot get them from them. But they have the assurance that we obtain their grains, but also work with large-scale farmers as well to be able to meet the requirement needs that we have to our off-takers. Yeah.
Thank you. So one of the biggest challenges with in agriculture is always access to finance. And when we talked about the COVID-19, you talked about how Stanbic has been able to support you, but not only that, they've been able to support you over the years. So can you tell us more about the partnership, how you started, and what kind of support you've received from Stanbic?
Yeah, Stanbic has supported us, like we started with them since the year 2000, and we have grown with them. They have grown our business. They too have grown too, because they started as a cash center in Zaria, and then we were also a small business concern, and then we have all grown together in partnership over the years to where we are at now. Now we have a corporation that is employing about 550 people, striding to other areas, in the agricultural frontiers, to go into other areas of processing. So they've been there. Stanbic got into agriculture when it wasn't attractive to do so. I'm sure other banks were probably laughing at them and wondering how they were risking their funds, into that space, agricultural space. But they were consistent, and we worked with us to grow our business, supported us, partnered with us over the years. And today they are the toast and the envy of other banks. Stanbic took the risk. Stanbic supported us. Stanbic was there for us. They were there all the way. And then now you are coming in. So they have always had this consistent support. And I think, in that agri space, and that's what made them raise their funds initially when it wasn't attractive to do so. And today they are reaping the benefits. Because I'm sure when I even saw it on television some years ago, that NISA was partnering with Stanbic, I said, yes, they deserve it, because they have paid the price and they have put their all in the agri sector. And today they are reaping the benefits. So they are partnered with us, and we're, more like family now over the years. We've been there for a long time.
Over my years of speaking to people, you're one of the first people that are talking about positive support from the banks. So what advice do you give other people that are having challenges with access to finance? How do they go about it?
For other people, the first thing I advise is to have integrity, in the sense that when the bank tries you with a little, number one, keep your books. Get all your records properly done. Do your bookkeeping very well. And then when the bank gives you any opportunity, be consistent. In this journey with Stanbic, we have had our ups and downs. We have had our challenges. But we bend back double to make sure it's obligations to the bank. And that's the consistency that we have had for over 20 years that we've been, partnering with Stanbic. They know us, that we are reliable. They know our track record, that we will not fail them. So that's what I tell people, just a roller coaster. You need to be consistent. You need to have a track record. You need to keep your records properly. You need to do business the way business should be done. You need to train yourself and retrain so that you can position yourself to be able to meet the challenges that will be ahead. And then have integrity. A lot of people just think bank money is free money. No, it's serious money, and you need to have that track record. Thank God that Nigeria is introducing the credit system now. And then, of course, it's already there. If you mess up with one bank, with all the rules of CBN now, you can't even get funding from any other bank. So make sure that you meet up your obligations, try within your ability, and know the business you are going into before you go and take bank funds. Try it with your own funds. If you don't have funds, get private funds from maybe family members and start small. Learn the act of the business before you take it on to the next level to take a loan. But you need to play out and start with private funds, grow in it, learn the ropes, know what to do, and then go and then keep your integrity for all time.
Thank you. I've also learned that in communities you've worked in, you've been able to build, over the years, you've been able to build schools and impact those communities. Can you talk about some of your CSL projects?
Yeah, the CSL projects we do, there's quite a bit. Not just, we built a block of classrooms for a school in Ekiti. We also built a school in Kano State, in one of the local governments there. And then recently, we just renovated a school, that's in the community in which our factory is in the Kaduna State. We just provided them a borehole during this COVID period, just so that they can have good hand washing, hygiene, and meet up the protocols of COVID-19. And then consistently 2 times in a year, we go to different states of the Federation. We're in Nasarawa in February, and we provide medical interventions. We do a medical screening for them. We give them free eye examination, and then give them free glasses, and then free drugs. And then in addition to that, we minister to the widows. We try to meet them at the point of their needs, empower them, teach them small hands-on skills like confectionery making, soap making, and all that can help the communities. So we dedicate ourselves 2 weeks in a year, 1 week and we do it 1 week in the south. Sorry, one village in the south and 1 village in the north every year. So 2 weeks in a year, we dedicate ourselves to go into those communities and try to be a blessing to them medically, meet the widow's needs, and then we give welfare materials, food, clothing, and other stuff, just to make their lives better and to tell them that there's hope for them. That's what we do consistently. That's in addition to the school block of classrooms that we have built in about 3 locations now. So that's what we do. We just try to add value and encourage people that there's hope for them. So that's what we do consistently. And that's what we've been doing that for over 10 years now.
Wow, thank you very much. It's actually very good to hear when you're giving back to the communities. You've had challenges over the years, but what advice would you give to anybody that is coming into the sector and how to overcome the challenges over the years?
For those coming into that space now, what I'll say is that, like I said before, they should start small. You start small because in an industry that you don't know how it works, it's good to start small to learn the ropes. You learn the ropes over time, you become an expert in it, and then you can now expand your scope. But one thing is I tell people is this: you need to be consistent in what you do. You need to have passion for what you do. You need to be hardworking. I tell everyone around me, life is a serious business. If you give it what it takes, then you are going to come out successful. Being a success is not rocket science. It's strategy, it's planning, it's working, it's being passionate, it's being consistent. Of course, then have God on your side, because when you work as hard as you can without that God factor, you may just labor in vain, just like the truck pushers that have nothing to show for their labor. You need to have God, and then you need to be hardworking, you need to be determined, you need to know about the business that you are going into. You need to read about it. You need to practicalize it. You need to get to the grassroots, because for farming, you don't just sit down in your air-conditioned office. You need to go there, at least, and then interact with the people, and then you're going to learn from them. And when they see somebody educated even coming into it, they're excited, and they'll share their knowledge with you openly, and then you can leverage on all those information and the support you get from them, and then you can grow on, and then consistently grow on, build it up, do everything it takes, and put your all in it, and definitely you'll become successful.
Thank you very much. And the last one, so post-COVID, do you see opportunities in the sector, and how can the government continue to support the sector?
Yeah, the government should. The government is actually doing well, especially the CBN. Now they want to even empower. They want to give some 2 million or so farmers, inputs and all that. They're doing well, but they need to monitor and make sure that these inputs are getting to the right people. Now, fertilizer price is about 17,500. The farmers are complaining bitterly. How can they assess that? That's extremely high. So the government has to work out a system like they did in the time of some years back, maybe the Obasanjo's era or something, I don't remember now. Farmers around us were getting their alert about the fertilizer. They got the fertilizer, they knew through their phone alerts, and then there to pick those government subsidized fertilizers. But so the government needs to do a bit more. The government is trying in agriculture, but they need to do a bit more and support the agricultural industry even more. For us, we've been there, like I said, or for us, we know for over 2 decades, and then we are still trying to assess some of the intervention funds. That's ridiculous, because we have a track record over the years. So why is it difficult for us to assess those funds at our level? Now we have to trade and do business and get finance at a higher cost. So they need to know those people that have played in the industry, have succeeded in it, have had a track record. Not just listening to people that are just coming and you cannot even trace them to any viable and projects that they have done over the years, or trace their consistency, and you are releasing funds to them. Those people will likely disappoint them. So consistently, they need to know those people that have a track record, and then give them the funds they require, and give them the proper orientation that this is not just free money, national kick. You need to account for it. As we give you input, We give you all the things to make your farming, successful and increase your scope when necessary. Then you need to give us the result and pay back your loan. But I think government needs to do a bit more of orientation and make sure that the funds are being disbursed to the right people. That's really key, so that the program will not just die in natural death if people are not meeting up their obligations over time.
Thank you very much. And to round up, what is the last message that you have for Stanbic for the support they provided over the years?
I want to say a big kudos to Stanbic. We really appreciate them. I don't think they ever thought that they'll get to this stage where agriculture is the toast of the nation and that in the front burner of government policies and all that. But they trusted in us, they worked with us, they grew with us, and they supported us. And today, we are where we are. So I say, Stanbic, keep on doing the good work, and definitely it pays to do that, and then you're definitely going to reap the rewards, even in a greater dimension than you have already reaped so far. And trust us, we are always there, consistent, expanding, moving on, and then we should definitely, continue to partner with you to greater heights.
Dr. Balogun, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.